Now, user stories, we talk a lot about user stories in this course because we're going to be creating user stories in Jira. So what's a user story? It really originated from XP actually. I have a whole course on how to write user stories. So if you need help with user stories, there is help for you. There's material on this suite of courses that specifically talks about user stories. I'm not going to get into it too much because you can go get it from that course. Um, you want to make sure you use a format. So as a type of role, I want to do this action or this feature so that I can have this benefit. So as a user, I want to be able to create my password so that I can access my account. That's an example of a user story. So we talked about the characteristics of a good user story in that other course I was talking about. So it needs to be independent, negotiable, valuable, estimatable, small, testable. So you got to make sure it is estimatable and valuable. Sometimes people write user stories only for the back end and there's no value to the user. I don't believe that should be a user story. That should be a task. And we'll talk about the difference between a user story, a task, and a bug and an epic as we look into Jira in this course. Now, the acceptance criteria, there are many ways to write acceptance criteria. I always encourage people to write it the most clear, concise, to the point as possible. I do not think that writing acceptance criteria in what I call jerkin format, that's the behavioral format, is good for all situations. I think it's great if you're doing a bug and you want to represent the scenario before the bug happened, the scenario after, and what was the result. I think that's great. But if you're writing stories for developers to go build new functionality, I don't recommend the jerkin format. It's too wordy. It's too wordy. It's too long. It takes long to get to the point. They got to sift through all that words to figure out what they really need to do, and nobody has time to spend doing that. So I really like getting to the point as fast as possible and being very deliberate about the words that you use. So it's very accurate. As accurate as you can with every single word is great. You're going to discuss your user stories for sure. You're going to talk about them. This is not something that you're going to spend a lot of time writing and perfecting your writing. It's not about writing user stories, it's about talking about the user story. However, the written form is going to last longer than the conversation. And when the people you talked about the user story with are gone from the company, and when different things change, you want to go back to something written. And that's why you want to make sure you write the user story accurately. It could be written after you talk about it. There's no reason why you couldn't go back and update it after you've talked about it. Typically, write it before and you refine it together. But at the end of the day, it needs to be concise to the point so they know what to build. And we can use it as documentation going forward as to what we built in this feature. Hi guys, I hope you are enjoying the video so far. But let me take a minute to introduce you to the Refinement Notebook. So this is my Refinement Notebook. As you can see, it is quite large. It's 8.5 by 11 and it's hardcover. So you have something to press on. But the beauty of this notebook is that it has all the sections to help you stay focused and be productive in your refinement calls. So here you can put your user stories, then you put your discussion topics, then you have your major decisions and blockers that will go right here. But most importantly, you have your action items. What are all the things you need to do coming out of this call? And who's the owner of it? Very, very important. And at the bottom of every page, I have these messages that would help you stay focused and motivated as you go through your refinement session. So go to Amazon.com and get this refinement notebook. I will put the link in the description below, and I hope you enjoy it. Now back to the video. So you can read that. There's rule-oriented acceptance criteria. There's behavioral-driven. It's just, you have different formats. There's custom format as well. Talked about that. So scenario-oriented, custom formats, rule-oriented. Again, jerkin. I like the scenario is what we call jerkin format. Given when then. I like it for bugs. I do not like it for new enhancements. Just my personal preference.